Alright guys, Stomping Formula coming to you from the 7.1.5 PTR on December 7th, 2016. We're going to go over some of the changes that they're doing to the Vengeance Demon Hunter, some of the things that are active right now in the PTR. Please keep in mind that these are PTR changes and they are liable to change before they go live. I think we still have 7 weeks until live, 7-8 weeks. So keep those in mind whenever you're watching this video. Now the first thing I'm going to go over is the changes to our passives in our spellbook and things like that. So the first thing we're going to go over is Demon Spikes. The pain cost is the same, the cooldown is the same. Now something that they have changed is they took 10% physical damage reduction away from it. So on live right now, mine does 44% decreased physical damage instead of 34 like this one. Now don't get too upset, we're going to go over what has happened to it, where it went. Now as for everything else, as far as I know, most of this stuff has not changed very much. That's in Prison has changed. Prison on live only works on demons. But as you can read the tooltip here, Imprison's demon, beast, or humanoid for 1 minute damage will cancel this effect, limit 1. So they've changed the Imprison to where it can work on other things besides demons. This is an awesome thing. Now Metamorphosis, this is another thing that has changed that is pretty awesome. Transforms you into demon for 15 seconds, increasing your current and maximum hit points by 50%. It's 30% on live, it's only 50% for me because of what the artifact traits have, so it's 30%. And armor by 100%, greatly empowering your cheer. So your armor goes up. See, right now I have 4732 on armor, so if I hit Metamorphosis, I have 9400 armor, so that goes up a lot. Then you get what's called Sever, so it's like a 25% damage buffed shear, and you have a 100% chance to carve off a lesser soul fragment every time you hit with it. And I'll go over that on a training dummy later in a different video. So Metamorphosis has changed. All the sigils are the same except for Sigil of Chains has been increased on their cooldown. We'll go over that later. These two are still the same as what they were. Torment is the same. Alright, now our Demonic Words passive has changed, and it's changed for the best. It says tattoos reduce all damage taken by 10%. So they took that 10% off of Demon Spikes and they moved it to here. Because before it was only 10% magic damage reduction, now it's 10% all damage, so you also get 10% magic and that 10% physical that left. They also are increasing the amount of stamina you get by another 10%, so now it says 55 instead of 45, and your armor is up by 120%. So stamina buff, 10% damage reduction. That is really good. Double jump, of course, is the same. Mastery is the same. Shattered Souls are the same. So we're going to go over the talents now, which I think everybody's going to be very happy to see. Alright, so they changed Abyssal Strike right now on live. It is... excuse me, sorry about that. Alright, so right now Abyssal Strike on live is Infernal Strike range is increased by 10 yards and its cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. Now on the PTR, it is... Infernal Strike's range is increased by 10 yards and its cooldown is reduced by 8 seconds. This is really good for mobility. Personally, I would never take this talent because I don't ever find myself looking for an Infernal Strike, although that 10 yard increased range is really nice. So Agonizing Flames got another debuff. It got its damage decreased by another 10%. So now we're down to 20% increased damage of your Immolation Aura, down from live, which is 30%. And Razor Spike's got a damage buff. It's up to 50%, 30% increased physical damage instead of 20. So right now, as it stands in live, Razor Spikes is slightly better than Agonizing Flames on single target fights. This is liable to change a lot with a 10% going away here and 10% increase here. This might actually be better in AoE situations. I don't know yet, I haven't tried it. But it's definitely going to be the go-to talent for boss fights, if you ask me. Even though this will increase your trickle heal, this is going to be a pretty nasty thing. Feast of Souls hasn't changed. Fallout is the same as it has been. Now, Burning Alive, the tooltip has changed on this. I'm going to read the one off of Live, and then I'll read the one on PTR. So the Live tooltip says, every 2 seconds your fiery brand deals 45% of attack power and fire damage, and spreads from the primary target to a nearby enemy. And on PTR it says the same thing, and it says it spreads to one nearby enemy, but not from the primary target. And what we have realized on live testing is, PTR testing, is it spreads a lot faster with Burning Alive than it does right now on live, because apparently it can go from the primary to a secondary, and then secondary to a tertiary, and also once you have a third target active, you can go from the tertiary to a fourth target, and from the second target to a fifth target, and from the first target to a sixth target. So it can actually exponentially spread out. People are saying that you can get this up on a lot of ads very quickly. So this might be a Mythic Plus benefit right here, away from Fallout, if you decide to take something like Fracture. Okay, Fellblade hasn't changed. Flame Crash has not changed. Fell Eruption, not sure on this one. Let me take a look. It doesn't look like it's changed. Fell Eruption does not look like it's changed at all. Feed the Demon. Again, this is a really good one if you're having trouble keeping your spikes up. It hasn't changed. Fracture has changed a lot. So it's the same as it was. I think it still does the same amount of damage. But what it does now is it has decreased its pain cost by half. This is going to be a very viable thing to have now. Personally, I like Fallout because Fallout gives you pain, but this has a guaranteed chance to shatter 2 soul fragments, and as long as you have the pain and don't have to use your pain on Soul Cleave, you can get a lot of soul fragments out very quick with this. Soul Rending has not changed. These haven't changed except for Sigil of Chains is up to a 1.5 minute cooldown. That says 1.2, but I think it's affected by haste. I may be incorrect on that. But I know live right now, my live Sigil of Chains is like 45 seconds, and I'm looking at the talent calculator for live, and it says the non-haste related one, Sigil of Chains, is a 60-second cooldown. So the Sigil of Chains cooldown has gone up, which I don't like. There's no reason for that, in my opinion. Fell Devastation found itself back up here on this thing, so you can spec Fell Devastation and Soul Barrier now, which is really good. Fell Devastation has not changed. Blade Turning has changed. Blade Turning, and a lot of people think it's a trap talent. I've used this personally, and it is really, really useful, especially once you get your artifact trait that increases your parry when you do demon spikes. So it went up from 50%, which is live, to 70% now. Spirit Bomb, this has changed from shadow damage to fire damage, and it has changed where instead of getting 15% of the damage healed with enemies with frailty, now you get 20%. So this is a huge buff, because you're getting 15% of the damage that you're already dealing as fire damage as healing, and then you get that 20% frailty debuff. So that's a good trickle heal. It's a really nice trickle heal. Last Resort. Now, a lot of people are upset about this, and I'm going to talk you through this. So, Last Resort's tooltip has changed. It says this effect may now only occur every 8 minutes. On live, it's every 3 minutes. Slow down. Don't freak out, because this debuff for Last Resort does not persist through death. All this means is that if you get a Last Resort in a dungeon, let's say Mythic Plus, you die on one of the first pulls, you're probably only going to get to use Last Resort twice throughout the entire dungeon instead of 4 or 5 times. But for progression rating, you're going to get to use it every single pull, because the debuff does not persist through death. So let's calm down on that one. Alright, Demonic Infusion. This is a brand new talent. Everybody's going to like this. It is instant, 2-minute cooldown. Draw upon the power of the Twisting Nether to instantly activate, and then refill your charges of Demon Spikes, and generate 60 pain. So that's a free Soul Cleave right off the bat. This is an awesome talent. I'm not real sure where it's going to come into play, but it is awesome. That's why it's on this bottom row. Personally, I think I'll be using this in Mythics more than anything that have a lot of physical damage, because I'll probably go Soul Barrier for other things. So now we're going to go over to Soul Barrier, which I think is a godsend in this patch. Soul Barrier, 10 pain. It is 30 pain on live right now. 10 pain. It says shield yourself for 12 seconds. It's got a 30-second cooldown. On live right now it has a 20-second cooldown, but it only lasts 10 seconds. But on the PTR it says shield yourself for 12 seconds, but it has a 30-second cooldown. So they're kind of messing around with the numbers there. It says shield yourself in a shield absorbing 748,000 damage. Consume a soul fragment, adds another 83,000 to the shield, so 5 soul fragments. You can easily get up to 1.3 million shield on this. And it says soul barrier absorption cannot be reduced below basically 100,000. So for 12 seconds you're going to have 100,000 damage of mitigation. So that means you're going to have a baseline of 10% damage reduction on anything that hits you for 1,000,000 damage. Not a lot hits for 1,000,000 unless you get up into like way up into tyrannical stuff, or if you're fighting Ursoc on heroic or mythic, or you're fighting Guarm or Xavius. You know, that's whenever you're going to get to that 10%. So anything that doesn't hit you for 1,000,000, that's even more of a percentage of damage reduction for 12 seconds. And it's only costing 10 pain. It's 30 pain on live right now. So this is a really, really good talent. We're going to go over real quick, and I'm going to look at the live version. So from what I'm reading at the live version, it says that it's 1,500% of attack power times the percent of health times 15% of attack power. So the number to look at is that 1,500%. So the 1,500% right now, that's gone away. It is now 2,250% of attack power. So the barrier is a lot larger on the PTR than it is on live. So that's going to be another big one. And the fact that it only costs 10 pain. This is going to be a go-to talent. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. And in my opinion, there's no reason why you shouldn't be running that. Since I have the video going, I'm going to cover real quick a legendary, which I will only cover one. This legendary that everybody hates. The Pridaz, basically the shitty neck that no one likes. It's terrible for tanks on live right now. So on live it says every 30 seconds you get an absorb shield for 15% of your maximum health for 30 seconds as long as you don't take damage for 5 seconds. Now look at this. It says every 30 seconds, no matter what, gain an absorb shield for 30% of your maximum health for 30 seconds. 1.26 million damage absorbed right there. And some people say, well, you just lose that in 2 swings in a mythic. That's fine. That's damage you're not taking to the face. So the fact that anybody gets angry about that they think that that's small, this is probably going to be close to one of the best in slot tank necklaces in the game. So that's what I see on the PTR right now. Those are the changes that are in play right now. Things are liable to change, obviously, before they go live. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will definitely answer them as soon as I can. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you like, or follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/stompingformula. I'll leave a link below. I will probably do some PTR gameplay in the next couple days and try to get a video up as soon as possible. Alright, thanks very much, guys. Have fun.